Mario 64 was one. I am actually writing down the games that are redeemed so I don't actually forget. Alright, knockoff Maya. What was I doing again? Let's see. What is going on? The victim was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot, the police department's evidence room. Oh yeah, that's right. He died 2 places. Police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Going to find out, or try to at least. Oh, shut up, Emma. You've been useless so far. These thick-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. God damn it. Yo, what's up, Raptor? I think I said hi to Whitney, I'm pretty sure. Unless I'm just crazy. Really should get, like, a fidget something. Maybe not the... Do they still make the fidget cubes? I wonder how expensive they are. Worry about the police department murder. Shut up, Emma! That's obviously something we should be worrying about right now. Wasn't even a body found there, who cares? Never do such a thing, I know it. Oil drum, was it empty? Emma really likes her sister. It's not it at all. It's just we're both professionals at what we do and I trust her. Ah, sure. Tricks live on screen. Exactly, Raptor. Just away. Nor the strength of my sides at your own peril. Uh-huh. Calls for one thing, and that is... luminal testing fluid. Oh! Is someone gonna be useful now? Sticky stuff, you know, I can't just wash it away with a little water. If you can't see it, it's still there. Wouldn't the police have already done those tests? Never trust anyone's eyes but your own. I can't even drink yet. Fancy! I know they start adding more and more of this kind of stuff as the series goes on. Or, like, absurdly incompetent. Artie, please! The examples of the police we've found so far have been nothing but paragons of competence, with Gumshoe, who has helped us solve every case and find the actual murderer. There was the guy that dressed as a sheriff. And there was also the chief of the police. He was pretty cool. I liked him. That's just great to spray it on. Yes, with my touch thing. Why did the capture freeze? Why is it not showing the bottom window? Hello? Has it not been showing the bottom window this entire time? What the fuck? Which one's which? Oh no! Why is this fucked up? This is gonna take a while to set up, unless it just happens to already be nice and perfectly set up. Oh, thank God. I don't know why that swapped. Or how long it has been swapped. There was that guy, Raptor. He did his job perfectly. Yep, there would be some blood there. Alright, I don't know why you had me spray like 5 more times afterward. Ooh! It's glowing blue, that's android blood! I've seen enough of that game to know. Is this a blood stain? I hope this isn't Chris's blood. Yo, nice Meg. Something strike you as odd. Well, none of its footprints. I know that. David Cage was the origami killer. There's not a lot of blood for a stabbed man. Humans got a lot of blood in them. All the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It's almost as though some of it might have been washed away, but not all of it. My allowance to buy this. Good on you. Which I guess your sister gave you? Because your parents are dead or something, if I remember right? Reveal all their evidence. Of course, sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit in with their view of the case. Sometimes they just forget to mention evidence, just in general. It has felt like we've been investigating a crime for a long time now. Sup, bitch? Not bad, you two. Shut up, you! You showed that you were fairly incompetent last time. I get my mouth watering. Well, since you're here, how you doing, I guess? It was my fault. It really was. You were pretty damn incompetent. I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough. Uh-huh. Did the YouTube recording start? Yes, I did remember that. Lied on the witness stand, that's unforgivable. Really is. Don't get smug at me. Don't forget what's important here. That testimony should not still stand. You showed that you were, like, the most biased person to ever exist. You have no honor. Shut the fuck up. By that I mean, so you used to be a detective, huh? Faced me. Uh-huh. Babbled like babies. I assume because you were just flat out torturing them, which usually isn't allowed. Uh-huh, sure you can. Uh-huh. Felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if these prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. Uh-huh. You are not wrong at all, Raptor. Case, the SL9 incident. You mean the one that's related to the guy who's dead, and so you've been known to be incredibly biased against? I really have to show her the thing about... I think that was the gun. Or this. Yeah. That knife! On that note. Goodman was the head detective on that case, you know. The knife was as evidence from that case, the murder weapon. It was due for transfer the very day that Goodman was killed. Yep. As I suspected. Oh, shut up, you. I don't think she did it, Raptor. I think she's just, like, the incompetent first person. She's the old bag of this case. What? Didn't he say, could you tell us more about it? Why can I not ask her about it more? Do you think you could tell us more about the incident? Apparently not. Apparently she does not think she could tell us more. Bitch. I'm just gonna keep shoving this in your face until you tell me more. Maybe I have to show something else, we'll see. No? Alright, just in case there's something dumb and I have to show both the knife and the note in the without backing out of that menu. Rest the stream right here. Damn right. Nope. True macho. Anything else related to SL9? Probably not. Unless they consent, macho. Shut the fuck up about your tea! You really not gonna... I feel like I should be getting another talkie option, but apparently not. Oh, I can't spray her. How do I use the spray bottle? Just... Aha! I wanted to spray her, then just have her covered in blood. It's like, you didn't even change? Gotta spray it a few times, I guess. Just in case that magically unlocks bloodstains somewhere else. Oops, I resized the window a little. I feel like you've got to give me something. Same idea as the man who was killed at the police department. It's impossible. Well, let's just slowly show you everything, I guess. He's provolone. An interesting description. Wish this scene didn't have so many changing people in it, that way I could zoom through it faster. Witnessed the crime, would have been the suspect. She is a character you prosecute. I think I already showed this, but... one more time, just in case. Phone on the pavement. So trap the red car's muffler and the prosecutor's red muffler. I should make sure and check the muffler just in case somehow the police haven't gotten around to that. I do think they actually mentioned the thing before I showed her the knife. For why did I show her the knife in the first place? Eh. Just 5 minutes of the whole problem. Holding my testimony as well. Yep. Star, you lying was the problem? Yeah. I've had my testimony disregarded before. Really? Color me shocked. Wasn't going to have it disregarded again, just like that time. Oh, is it the SL9 incident? What do you think of the shoe? Or at least she has nothing to say about the shoe. A little surprised about that. What do you think of the alcohol? Nope. Now can I talk to you? Oh my God. We're nothing to them. Disposable. 2 years ago was the biggest case I'd ever handled. Cowboy Man's there! Wonder who the guy in the bottom left is. Because it's her, Cowboyman, Goodman who's dead, and fourth person. We're desperate for decisive evidence. Solved quite cleanly, the criminal was caught and executed. Got what was coming to him. Doesn't get any cleaner than that. The problem was, they never did find decisive evidence, not even a little. The criminal was executed, right? Of a sort, made-up evidence. Justa. They executed someone with fabricated evidence. This part came several months after the trial. The detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen, others found themselves out of a job. Myself and one other person you know well. Officer Jake Marsh. Okay, yeah. Cowboyman. He's on security detail in the police department, isn't he? As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined. And then it was over, and he was demoted. He hasn't forgotten, neither have I. There's another side to that case, a hidden side, that's what we're after now. And no one up in their fancy offices can stop us. Now she's sounding like she might have done it. But I think there's more than one killer. I think that's the thing with this. Because if I remember right, the intro movie, it showed two girls stabbing at the same time. So I'm willing to bet that there's multiple killers. Only one reason I come to sell lunches in this accursed office. I come here to meet old friends, boyfriends that can help me investigate. Has to be a connection. The cowboy joined her to do it. Seems like you're serious about investigating this case. No shit. Ooh. That looks good. Some guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat. My god. Or maybe not. Are you going out? What do you want to know? Just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. Got along so long with my sister, it made me jealous. It was nice to me too back then. Now he's so cold. Merely cooperating on this investigation, we're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that. But first we should say hi to Edgy, if he's here. Tidy day, and it will be tidy tomorrow too. He's not here. Aww. That's what he's doing. But first, I don't think Edgeworth would mind if I sprayed shit all over his office. Just get some right there. Hee hee hee. Hee hee hee. Yeah. Oh shit, there is something here. Hello? Hello, it's me. Maybe in his wrath, slap someone for their incompetence. Why does Detective Gumshoe's face come to mind? I half expected there to be something here, which was the main reason I did it, but I also just wanted to be a dick and spray alcohol all over Edgy McEdgy's room. Just ruin that nice coat, everything. That open book you've got, stuff on it. Okay. Anyway. Actually, before I go too far into the police station, I should see if I can say hi to what's-her-face that I'm supposed to be helping. I can't remember her name for the life of me. So fast, they're blurring semen stains everywhere. No, that's a UV light. Detectives did get killed in their own department. The scene of the crime, according to the pamphlet we got at the front desk. Here it is. Amusement park. Real crime scene, let's go take a look. We did already. Also, I forgot to take a look at the muffler to make sure they grabbed the thing from it. Hold on. Excusez-moi. Guess the muffler would be like right there. I don't know anything about cars. Shut up, Emma, that's sexist. Come on now. Ms. Science. Yo! Phoenix can't drive. Found that note. Well, whatever the crime was, it was bad enough to execute someone for it. So probably a murder. Just taking a wild stab. What's her face in here? Can you imagine? Chief said they'd caught the criminal at the police department. What if there was just a bloody handprint here? That would be terrifying. Alright, surprise, there's nothing there. A wild stab, eh? Raptor, no. Alright. Ooh, not even in the outside of the police department. I'm no longer allowed there. Good thing this is a well-made game and I couldn't have... and I hopefully didn't miss anything there. There's a vicious murder of a detective in this department after all. He's also killed at the same time in the prosecutor's lot. Makes my head hurt. Check out the crime scene here. It was decoy octopus. Don't mess up or we could wind up dead. Shut up, you. Okay, what's going to help us much either? Well, of course not. Hey, Chief, mind if I spray shit all over the place in here? Well, too bad. Well, too bad. I'm still alive. Alright, you're clean. Can I not go into the record place? Hey, the thing's there. The Blue Badger, the future star of the police force. Still under development, you see. Absolutely, it's cutting-edge stuff, very now. Showed this doll here to my daughter, and she burst into tears. What if I examine you, Mr. Chief? Killed in the evidence room? Tell no one outside the police department? No! I told that old lady at the restaurant everything! You idiot. Someone's getting into motion. God, is there anything actually important here? Killer used dry ice. If you put it between the latch and the door, the room could be sealed shut. Writer's award for sure. There you go. I can't blame him. Nothing's really sticking out to me here, so hopefully there's... Whoops, wrong button. Nothing here. So am I not allowed in the evidence room? This place is filthy. Have to clean it. What are you two bozos doing? Must be a detective. What were you thinking? Where's your head? It's right here, sir. Showing the detective where his head was. Make a good pair. Shut up, game. Oh boy! The police department's been dancing around like crazy since yesterday. Oh shit! I just can't help but feel he's going to do something naughty. Oh? Such a naughty badger. It's kind of funny. I've never seen anyone who look like the people in these posters. Hardly even look human. That's an odd comment there. So can I not go to the evidence room? Oh, I can go here, I guess. Okay, this is the security guard station for the evidence room. Gotcha. Oh man, a whole bunch of cactuses and a deer skull and a whole lot of bottles of, I assume, sarsaparilla. There's a lasso there. There's a sign that says something. A nice little wooden gate. Who could possibly be the guard on duty here? Alright, so the question is he the guard here 24/7? 1. 2, is he only sometimes the guard here, and the other guards on shift just deal with his nonsense decor? Or 3, does he set up and take down the decor every time the shift changes, and he just brings it all with him from home? Either one of those thoughts is hilarious to me. What's wrong? It's those cacti, they're so prickly, so imposing, it's hard to think straight. To know is, if this is a guard station, where's the guard? I have a feeling I know who the guard is already. No! What do I want comments on first? Let's go with the skull. Really? No comment on the skull whatsoever? Lame. Let's see, hiding in the clothes rack. A costume to the uniform. What's that called later? It's a poncho! Come on now. Idiot. Hat! With a dairy cow print. I would think just one big one would be sufficient. Are we having a big emotional moment because of the cactus? Is that what's happening? It's that cold, rigid shell with thorns pointing in every direction. The hedgehog dilemma, or whatever the hell Evangelion called it. Will be 9 months since the start of it. Ugh. The one nice thing is the fact that 7 months of that I haven't been able to play anything. This game is a stream baby. Than a physical similarity. Is this the gate, or is that close enough to the cactus? Some kind of saloon? No, really? It's nailed shut, you can't get in that way? Cactus would fall over. What's your computer got? The evidence room here. Is the light blinking below the monitor? It says recording. Use this computer to check on who went in and out of there. Okay, but first the lasso, though. Set to trap something. To catch a wild bull in here. That's not how lassos work! Mess with the computer. I guess I don't get to mess with the computer. Are these all the same thing? Because I was trying to look at the computer there. Okay, yeah. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Someone's permission to go in there first. Well, I happen to have permission right here. Can I not shove into door? I'm supposed to try and leave? I feel like Big Iron should be playing right now. Probably. What's that? It looks like something's taped over right there. I wonder who it is. If only they had some kind of name tag or something where I could figure out who was supposed to be on guard here. I'm gonna try and leave and see if that triggers him. If not, I'll just walk back here. Oh, it triggered something different. Frantic energy as always. Steak lunch, please. Oh, it's you. Howdy, Gumshoe. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak lunch from Lunchland. One of these. Just heard the sound of his heart breaking. How dare you? How dare you hurt Gumshoe? He's a way more important character than you or your sister. We caught a criminal, now we just need evidence. Evidence room, pal. Do you have a suspect? It was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. I love that man's design. He is, like, the happiest old man I have ever seen. I want to protect and make that man happy. Even though he could probably kick my ass, so there's no way I would protect him from anything. Who was it? Anyways, I need me a steak lunch pronto. To know more, head on down to the detention center. So I figured he's down there having a good cry. Oh. Okay. I saw one of two main ways this could go. It's not going the way I was kinda hoping. Look at that lightning hair. Whoops, wrong one. Okay. Hold on, ramp up the music again. No, we walk there in silence now. I'm sorry, is the detention center just not a... There it is. Okay. Now we go there. Well. If it isn't... the sheriff! Get the hell out of the way, Emma. Go away. Move. I was trying to do a thing. Ow. That's what I'm saying, be a perpetrator. I'd say I was the perpetrator against her, that's what I'd say. Damn it! Alright, the game beat my predictions yet again. I also hit, like, the edge of my desk there. Ow. Like, right... It's like my thumb. It's the totally American police officer. Bit ruined.
You made me look bad!
Meekins. I'm Mr. Meekins, look at me. Little lost patrolman, like a little lost lamb, sir. Well, he's got a bandaged hand, I definitely noticed that. Ow! Why is he allowed to keep that? Why? So went to the evidence room. The guard office in front of the room was empty, sir. Evidence is kept in the evidence room. Security officer was none other than Officer Marshall. No, really? What a surprise!
No!
Okay. Happened to glance at the security room monitor, that's when I saw him. Suspicious person in the evidence room. Everything went white, I saw red, I blacked out. I came to, I was here in the detention center. No one to bandage me, so I did what I could to wrap it up. I'd be down for it, Raptor. I thought you were gonna say fights the mob, and I was also fine with that. First things first, the victim. Fucking why? Now I can't hear it, at least. So of course the fucking stops. I hate this man. This man sucks. I would have preferred it being Marshall in there. To label him as a stranger or a total stranger, so he leans heavily on the total stranger's side. I would, if I was in Phoenix's place, break down that glass window and beat the shit out of him with his own air horn, or projector, whatever the hell that thing's called. Working in a tiny department devoid of light and other creature comforts. I understand why they shoved you in a dark room all by yourself, away from everyone else that works at the police station. Did you stab him? No intention of killing him? Like, how is that guy not beating the shit out of him? I have my sound the closest to muted it can be. Like, this is the lowest volume available. I can't turn it anymore. I can still hear that. If I don't talk, I can hear the music. Talking, I can hear that noise. And it still hurts my brain. When the detective pointed that knife at me, I just hollered, "Sir." Next thing I knew, I was unconscious. I opened my eyes. I was alone in the Evans room, all alone. As Detective Goodman had disappeared. When I looked down, I was gushing blood from your hand. Should I mention that I've kind of been teetering on the brink of a headache this entire day? Some story. Why are they saying he was dead if the body was gone? Is there anything I should present to you, or should I just leave? Why not? Sir, that's it. That's fucking... Would love to do nothing, just grab him by the neck and throttle him. That card was the cause of it all? That's exactly it. Nothing could be more. Shut the fuck up and just tell me why. Stop being the worst human being imaginable. Stay like this. Stay like this. I'm fine with this. Don't yell into the megaphone a foot away. I will shove it down your throat. I felt suspicious. Ask the man to display his ID card. That's what I've been trying to tell you. No, you haven't been. Show his ID card. What did he do? Suddenly pointed a knife at me. This is flustered as you are right now. Sorry, you are not as flustered as I am right now. I would love to have a knife right now. The fact that he pointed a knife at you is a civic service. It went white. I awoke I was here. I'm sure I can show you something else so that you remember more or something. What do you mean? Look at what we know. Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman. The victim whom he met at the scene of the crime didn't show his ID card. No way of knowing if the victim was really the victim. If this body just disappeared from the evidence room, we don't even know if anyone actually died. I did say something along those lines. I'm not sure you did. I don't know. You are probably the least trustworthy person in this entire police force. I know I love to joke that Gumshoe is trustworthy and that we should help him because he's a good boy, but I would not actually trust him with my life. If my options were you or him, I would take Gumshoe any day of the week. I now understand why Gumshoe is allowed to be a detective. Because people like you make up the rest of the police force. That it had to be him on that day at that time. Detective Goodman was definitely in the evidence room. Videotape is quite clear. Security camera. Wait until now to tell us this. You don't deserve the badge. I'm fine with leaving you here. I would have taken the badge just so he didn't have it. Alright. We all liked this guy about 30 minutes ago. Yeah. On the plus side, I can now enjoy the music again. Why do I... The movement in this case makes the least sense out of all this game. It usually makes sense. Standing at the head detective's desk. Chief Gant! It means if there is anything missing, sure, it's most likely perfect. Check the drawers, the lockers, the garbage cans, the coat pockets, pillowcases behind the computer monitors, the coffee machine. If anything does turn up, you call me right away, do you? This guy, and Raptor's the only one that will get this, unless Artie's still here. This guy is now how I pictured Lieutenant Gore from the TFS at the table, just, hello, it's me. Yeah. Looks a little flustered. Righto, my boy, how you been? Swim much? Are you saluting him, Mr. Wright? How do you not salute him? I'd be fine with Larry. I'd be fine with everyone but Old Bag from Silver Samurai. I'd be fine with Sandy Cheeks or whatever her name was. That liked the UFOs. I don't remember the other characters from this game so far that haven't been popping up. Saw this man, I legit went, that's Gore now. Exactly. He just exudes class and well-being. Oh, you know, they're doing a little inquiry committee with him. Sounds like an inquisition. We've had no end of trouble with the boys since last year. Doesn't look good having one of our top people sitting in the defendant's seat. Got someone else found guilty in that case, right, Righto? Von Karma. Legend he was, undefeated in his 40-year career. But in court, you fixed it so he was caught for forging evidence. Do anything wrong, he did forge evidence. Prosecutor's office is in a bit of a turmoil, you might say. I could understand that. It's about anything to restore their reputation. Depending on what that inquiry committee decides, it could be bad for Worthy. He's doing the hair thing. Downright odd, I tell you. I mean, it happened at exactly the same time. It's impossible. Shut up, you. But that's what the evidence is saying. Stabbed in 2 locations at the same time. Can't give away all our secrets just like that. This in particular, well, it's a little sensitive and I can't talk about it. Most of all is hiding stuff. Secrets can't stand them. Just keeping the head detective's trap shut. You saw that? Whoops. Psst. Mr. Head Detective Guy. So then, that's Goodman's desk. I need to check it for anything that might be a clue. He took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can. Nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still here. Except for this. Sure, why not? It's not important. He didn't even finish writing it. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete. February 21st. Note of that just in case. Could it maybe be his ID card? Maybe. 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 Yo, Whitney. Thanks for the 40 bits. Little bit of salt. Boop. Quick look around the crime scene. So back to the department entrance, because we don't show up here first, but we go to inside, and then we can go to outside, and then we can go to... We can't go there now. Oh, no, wait. Then we can go here. Is a certain someone maybe not here still? Salt for future court shenanigans. Oh, I'm sure. Alright, still the same crap here. There's a strong possibility, Raptor. Alright, plan 2 then. Oh, wait. Can I just... Hey! I was wondering if I could ask you a favor? Never thought the day would come when Wright asked me for help. If we could investigate the evidence room. That fucking face. It's so great. Now, Righto. Sorry, I don't need to investigate at all. Please, do I look like a selfish man? Like, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'd give them $50, no problem. I can believe that. This man has nothing but kindness in his heart, so he is probably the one that did all this. So you never know till you ask, are you here? You can borrow this. Detective's ID card, isn't it? Special card for guests, so don't lose it. Just run along and do your best now. He at least helps, yeah. Can I have $50 then? Exactly. Seem happy. We get to go into the evidence room now. Same, Raptor. Security guard. I keep expecting to see evidence room there somewhere. May I go in now? The ID card from Chief Gant. It won't open. Card reader is turned off. What's that security guard thinking? Here he is. What's made my band being a sky so gray? Howdy. Somehow I knew. Is that somehow I knew look for? May have surmised this here's my saloon. 1 sarsaparilla, please. Or a root beer. I'd take a root beer. Got there on your chest. It's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Just stand there for it. Get along. Crime scene's awaiting. Wondering if we could ask you some questions. I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Well, I know what to do here, and I've been waiting the entire time. That smell reminds me of Texas. Oh, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? What's wrong? Flay steak lunch. I see. Oh boy. More like boo beer because root beer is poopy. How dare you, macho? Alright, you win. Ask anything. Gonna fight the cowboy. For the evidence room, right? Got good odds. Easy job, and I'm grateful for it. Sir Beacons at the detention center told us. That poor little doggy. Keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. When the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. So I got demoted from detective 2 years ago. Might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know? What are you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I was galloping down the hallway on the back of my steed, Zippy. Please tell me that's just a wheeled chair and he races down the hallway like it's The Office or something. Oh, it's not a horse. Need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. Security camera system? Don't take the machines much. Kinda like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? Fair? Exactly, Raptor. Be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of the crime. All gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. Read the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened. There are some things you're better off not knowing. That case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. That's right. The evidence transfers. What maybe 2 of the machines in here do. Oops. Like I said, me and machines, well, like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. These here security cameras. Nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours. They on one of those tapes? Reckon they might be. You reckon? You go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. Card reader leaves a record of every ID card passed through. 420 777. Someone before? Can't show you more than that. Haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. This whole transfer thing is about? Keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years, so we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake. The evidence after 2 years goes to sleep forever in the underground vault at the police station. It's what we call transferal. We do it every February. Like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. Willing to bet, hey, Goodman's ID was on there. One that was on the ground in the parking lot. Bro, this is 5842189. Hey, surprised it was on there. At 5:14. A minute ago. A minute before he was stabbed in the parking lot. Impressive. Right before the stabbing. There's only one of them cards in the world. I have my doubts about that. Goodman was in the evidence room. In the evidence room, asked the man to display his ID card. Thank God it does not play the noise in the flashbacks. And his ID card then, why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meekins? You win. Guess I can give you this ID card record. I will look at the kitty. Oh, the kitty. Showed this list to other people with IDs here. Anyway, I'm gonna go into the stabbing room. Investigation must be over. It is kind of like a graveyard. This feels more like a morgue. How is a morgue scarier than a graveyard? Oh, hey, Gumshoe. Did she slap Gumshoe? How dare you slap my boy Gumshoe? That said, good on you for your first instinct to a ghost is to punch it. Yeah, it's true. Cheap police can't loan anyone $50? Even me? Put in charge of the investigation for today. Boss for a day. You got permission from the chief, so now you're a boss for a day. You want to have this? Gumshoe, you're a good egg. Boss for the day. That's right, it's an honor. All the murder took place right here in the police department. Are you all alone? Where are your underlings? They're using our findings from yesterday's investigation to prepare for the trial. She got kicked out of the investigation again. Take control and put this case to rest. My own evidence locker, pal. Oh! I'm a detective after all. They gave me a locker that only I can open. Inquiry committee right now, eh? Figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. What you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. SL9 incident. It's the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Yo, what's up, Sparky? Fix so that only one detective can open. Using this ID card? ID cards can be lost. Well, I'm on my third card since entering the force already. Even I can't lose my own right hand. Oh, the hand where everyone's got cut hands, huh? For each locker is encoded with a fingerprint. It's the only locker we can open. They look like normal lockers. The latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The other side of the handles is a sensor. If the wrong person touches it, you get a shock. Nice. My hand would be black and smoking every day. Locks aren't that obvious. There's even some people in the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Oh? Like perhaps Mr. Meekins wouldn't have known. Sorry, Gumshoe. I gotta do a few things first. God, we are on our 3rd page of nonsense already. Oh, I'm excited then, Whitney. Remember to touch the spot if he fled out the door. It's pretty amazing stuff you got there. You should get your hands on that. I'd like to get some too. Just borrow $50 from the chief. Always buy it by mail order. I'll definitely keep playing them until they get to 3DS, and I can't play them anymore. Alright, are they gonna stick to only one blood spot per screen? Because I feel like they've been doing that so far. Someone's right handprint. Systematic detective. This locker, it's mine. To help me when they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. Counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. Nope. A man behind all the caution tape, huh? That's the amount of blood here. Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien? One of them UFOs! What happened to find this locker? Make a note of it on the floor plans. You shouldn't have asked. Fair. Just one quick look around. Don't want to miss something like that. Alright. Switchblade knife. Bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. It's Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know, 2 years ago. It's the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. Guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. Will you tell me more now? Hell yeah. It was a bloody, violent case. Is that a fishing pole in the background? Maybe. Serial killer. Too late, Phoenix. Made a mistake and Mr. Edgeworth built this case around that to nab him. I'm just curious why the door is handcuffed. Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight. Started the rumor mill. Supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. It's the latest job it was the last job he ever did. Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? Switchblade knife. The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself. Why did it just stop there? fingerprint doesn't match. If you can open it, they'll give you 50 cents. Lacks faith in its lock system. I mean, not really. Stabbed here after opening his locker. At the same time, he was found dead over at the prosecutor's office. Anything else I need to show him? I guess this, maybe? A record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. There's Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. That second number? It's not your IT number, is it? Mr. Edgeworth? Oh? Ah. I see now. Interesting. Thinking. So obviously the body was stored in Edgeworth's car. Drove it to the prosecutor's office. What's-her-face opened the trunk. But there's no way it was actually Edgeworth. I don't believe that. Especially since he was blindsided with them giving evidence about the other stabbing, which means he had no idea about it. So someone somehow got Edgeworth's ID card. Go on, Gumshoe. Oops. When going after the ceremonies, they took the Blue Badger away for a while. Said it was shameful or something like that. Told it night and day. Ah, there we go. Now that's interesting. Oh, that's Miles's. A whole 34 minutes beforehand? Interesting. I'm super curious who 777777777 is. That has to be Mr. Meekins. I haven't actually examined anything yet. Car door, pair of handcuffs attached to the frame. Square in the forearm. So someone's a good shot at the police academy. That's good at least. At least they can do the shooting part. This must be evidence for some case. Some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, it's opened recently. How do you know? You leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or rips. Guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. I'm breathing down my neck about some silly evidence. Don't do it right in front of them. And I look at the number to see whose that is. Nope. So 2 bloody handprints, one on Gumshoe's locker, one on this mysterious other locker with something sticking out of it. Hey, Gumshoe, mind opening your locker? I already looked. Do we not have Gumshoe open his locker? Fine. Before Sigma's the killer? My god. Detective Goodman's fingerprints. Again, if we closed it, fair. Why are the paint cans around here? Make me out to be some kind of hooligan. Coming from The Case. The SL9 incident. See the sticker on one of the pieces there? Absolutely check it out closer. Put it back together? Yeah. No job for amateurs. I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. Tube of glue. Yes, minigame. Okay. I was hoping there was going to be one. Can I not, like... Well, that seems like the top. That is? Wish I could zoom in a little more on that. Now... my gut says this piece, but none of the edges seem to line up. Oh, right here. There we go. Silly me. Okay, so there's multiple tops, it looks like. Maybe? Nope. Maybe? Okay, that piece in my head was, like, really small, so... There we go. Alright. No. How many pieces are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty flat spot. I also wish this crosshair wasn't there. That's making it hard to see where the line is. I mean, maybe? No? Okay. There we go. I feel like this would actually be easier in real life because you could see the shape, how big all the pieces are. Oh, I thought that was like a trophy design on it. Oh, missing a piece. It took me 2 minutes to do. The problem is finishing it. They were missing to begin with. Still, doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. No. Probably because it's not a jar. I mean, that seems to be one of the note cards. Is this a different thing? It doesn't seem like it. It's that. Kind of absent-minded detective. Evidence from SL9 again. There's something you need to be going to. Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. Go give them my report for the day. That does not look like a report at all. That looks like a man flexing right there. This almost looks like a vague porn advert. Doesn't appear to be Japanese at the top. Written on the back of that flyer. The one that says nothing but no problems. I'm sure he can use a report like this. I believe in him. Okay, so that was a flyer then. Chat's being silly. Probably see what Edgeworth has to say too. But why all the paint cans everywhere? Explain. I've never noticed before. Ooh. Made a portrait of you, Mr. Wright. He is wearing the red necktie. So we just gonna ignore all the copious paint cans everywhere in here? Alright. Fine. Anything I should show to you? And the only thing they trusted was their shooting hand. This is neither wild nor west here. No, it's totally the west, guys. This is San Francisco. That's about as far west as you can go on the map, except for maybe Hawaii. Want to tell us about this? Oh, come on, you worked on this case. It just says SL9 on it. Alright, I think you're done for now. Maybe later we'll come back. case. Anyone else we can show the thing to? No? Okay. Detention center. Alright, which number's yours? Everyone lower your volume if you want. No idea what that is. Maybe you should ask Mr. Edgeworth. He is passing the buck. It was 2/21, i.e. the day this happened, so that is definitely what's-his-face losing the thing. Just gonna say hi to Edgeworth. I don't want to deal with you either. Ugh. Felt nice. It's that guy! I remember him. He was from the first case. I thought you ran the hotel now. Why are you here? Is Edgeworth here? You don't look good, Edgeworth. Yes, the hotel Brigham tea service. Just looking for you. Oh yes, he brought me some information, it seems. Was it helpful? Apparently a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. I think the report is on the other side. Let's just have a chat, edgy boy. It's from the second AA game. Ooh, neat. They decide to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Oh, that's fine then. There's some who believe that I concealed evidence. Gave me a warning. We're lucky this time, again. I say that so many times, ever since that case 2 years ago. Well, I'm still not the presiding prosecuting attorney, however. He gave control of the investigation over to the police department. Any further investigation for this case will be directed by the Chief of Police Gant. Nothing but wait for his results. As long as I've done only what I believe is right, I have nothing to be ashamed of, but still. Can I point out the fact that there's blood in your room? Hold on. Maybe I wasn't supposed to do this yet, so let's just do it again. Nope. So about this. Record of ID card usage. Went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. I wouldn't say just before. He was there like a half hour before that. That is definitely enough time to just be a coincidence, but judging by the music, it was not. Please don't look at me like that. Just asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. Interesting. You wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. Told me you wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. So afraid it would have to be if the evidence was already filled. There's never one to explain himself in your case on the day of the stabbings. I brought this back here. I can't say. It has nothing to do with the current case. I have my doubts, Edgy. Unrelated evidence, screwdriver. told you this has nothing to do with the current case. I hope it actually doesn't, and he's trying to help out, but we're just being a dick. Tell me about the case. Show him my best efforts so I can get some reaction out of him. Tell me about the thing. Someone needs to tell me about the thing. It has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident. Some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in. Man who revived the worst memory of my life, as I recall. Yes, but I'm also the man that got the guy that killed your dad. Like, come on. I proved that you weren't the one that did it like you thought. Telling you about this sooner or later. Why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. Oh. Yeah, it does, Whitney. Case 2 years ago, too, then. This is the best we had, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. I was the deputy chief of police on the investigation. I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict, the killer was executed. Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. I feel like the game is trying to retcon the fact that Edgeworth did in fact forge evidence, because he did that in our very first case with him, and the game is like trying to pretend that didn't happen, and be like, no, Edgeworth was always a good guy, just harsh and cold. I think of my power to win a trial, however, I do have a code and I follow it faithfully, except for the time you didn't, against us. I remember that, I'm pretty sure. Chief prosecutor wanted to know something. Still working on that scientific investigation. I know we're using this. Luminol testing fluid. Well then, you might have a use for this. Oh? What did he forge? I don't remember. I remember it was something, though. It was a big to-do in, like, the very first real case with Maya, if I remember right. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints. Ooh! For better adhesion. The enemy, you know. I've no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Yo! And the files for everyone. Shout out to the old guy, he's the Jotaro of this game. Is there anything else I wanted to shove in your face? You want to just talk about this? Because that was pretty nifty, huh? Nope. Can I bring up the fact that you've got blood in your office? Like, come on. Oops. Ah, that's all SL9 crap. Oh, it only specifically does handprints. I can't dust everything in the powder like I can with the spray. That's a shame. Oh, a certain somebody is gone. Interesting. You. And then to you. Hail to you! A certain other somebody is also missing. Search and turned up a suspicious handprint. It turned up 2, unless you're forgetting. Choose a finger. It's behind a slightly different imprint. Left behind the clearest print. I'm gonna go with thumb. That seems a bit better than the index. Not by a whole lot, but you know. Alright, now how do I blow? It's a good question, Whitney. I was playing Phoenix Wright when I was examining finger. It says you have to put powder and blow. Now I have problem how to blow, and thanks you can use hotkey. Okay. Hotkey configure, open, reload, reset, pause, CPU, boop 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 ba doop ba doo, boop da doop ba doop ba doo. There's increase and decrease pressure. Is that what it would be? Tools, movie, save states, turbo, something else. Tools. Hold on. 1 second. I have to do something else first. While I look this up. Where is it? Gotta be somewhere around right here, right? There it is. Use the microphone hotkey. By default, the microphone hotkey is accent. You can change the microphone hotkey settings in Dismume preferences under input. Microphone settings? Internal noise sample. Okay. We got it. Figured it out. I basically had to set up a button that would turn on the microphone, and then it would just kind of auto-blow. Nothing like a fingerprint. of luck. If this handprint must have worn gloves. We've been wasting our time here. Fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Find a clear print. I mean, the closest one would be that one. Took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. It's quite a process. Person you think left these prints? Different places, right? That means that the print probably doesn't have anything to do with our case, so whose fingerprints will we most likely find on this evidence locker? Gee, I wonder. Long Detective Gumshoe. Can read this so what look. Because I was thinking so what. Wait, if I remember correctly, there's one other handprint in this room. Damn right there was. It was... Really quick, let's... Don't be the killer. Well, it was his locker, so... Alright, it's right there, so... I'm assuming the other games will have a kind of better setup for the whole investigating than this one, hopefully. If they involve more doing this kind of thing. Like maybe separate menus for investigate and court record, but we'll see. Let's just leave it be. What's the point? It was his locker, Mr. Krabs. He was number one. It's wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means. Fingerprints in that era will have been wiped away too. No prints, but we can find out whose locker this is. It should be, like, over there. Though, a hand would also leave a fingerprint right there. Ish. A floating shopping list! Just spray that white stuff everywhere. I won't lie, even I've messed with like Microsoft Paint enough that I keep seeing that effect and I try and click and just drag it everywhere instead of mashing the button like I have to. And now for the real magic button. Let's see, that was, I think, right there. So let's try right here. No, I am mashing it. So if you ever see me do that and then nothing, that's why, because I tried to drag it and that doesn't work. I think that noise is used in Fire Emblem. I think it's the save noise in Path of Radiance. It's Officer Marshall. He's 65, hold on a minute. Who? These are decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. Luminal reaction, the blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Shush, Sparky. On a wiped blood stain. The chief is 65. I can believe it. Finally turning up some results. Decisive evidence. I don't believe it. If you want to go the whole scientist route, Emma, you need to be impartial now. Oh god, we back in here? Whew. I need a bathroom break. BRB. Alright, I'm back. Ah, Raptor got there first. I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. Yeah, I have no idea what's gonna happen in this. The victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. Different suspect was arrested at the other crime scene. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Apologize for yesterday, I was indisposed. Just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So as Mr. Wright suspects, the police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. Oh? And if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean. Don't tell me you. To my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Discover traces left by a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. Traces? Bloodstained fingerprints to be exact. Trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? And of my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall to play the cards were dealt. Isn't that right, Ms. Sky? Do what you have to do. That does sound real good, Macho. I'm also jealous, Raptor. Court is now in session for the trial of Ms. Lana Sky. The defense is ready. Prosecution is... You'll have to clarify. Takes 30 minutes by cars to reach the criminal affairs from the prosecutor's office. Victim Bruce Goodman was slain at both places at the same time. It's not physically possible, is it? True, Sparky. I no longer have a daring queen in my town, though. The victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. But in order for the body to get from the crime scene to the prosecutor's office would be 30 minutes, so he had to have been murdered before he used his card to open the door. Ever been to Dairy Queen? I don't remember how the actual food was, but the blizzards were real good. Present impartial evidence today. We'll present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. So doing believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Though he doesn't know what's going on himself. Edgeworth is trying to Joseph it and just get lucky while pretending to know what he's doing, and that's usually the way Phoenix does it, so we'll see what's happening. What exactly transpired at the police department? Call your first witness of the day to the stand. Calls. Suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. And with that, my volume is going to go as low as it can. And before Goodman is alive, I would not be surprised. Get a shake. But the blizzards are kind of a shake. Just with more stuff in it. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Officer Mike Meekins. That would be murderer, sir. Why is everyone admitting to this crap? Fair, Macho. Didn't we jail Edgelord? No, we found out that he wasn't the one that did it. It was instead his mentor who did it, trying to get him killed. Well, no. His mentor got... It was a thing. Just watch the video. So telling us you're a professional killer. It's me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You got to believe me, sir. My dear for you is... called part of the younger generation, sir. Don't you blame your crap on us. His actions, adult. Can't possibly understand. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Help me, sir, said the judge. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. That must be told what to do, sir. I can fault him for too much enthusiasm, though. He was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. Spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. Only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. Then I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Victim Detective Goodman attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. Colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. Knocked me upside the head, sir. Defense may begin its cross-examination. Who am I defending here? What is happening? How am I defending Sky right now? By... What is happening? Why? You work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? In charge of hiring new recruits. Ugh. So he's the fault the entire department, the entire police organization is incompetent, huh? Well, Sparky, the head prosecutor supposedly murdered a man a few days ago at this point, and we were supposed to defend her even though she was admitting to it. But then it turns out that man was murdered at the exact same time somewhere else. And so everyone's trying to figure out what's going on. Like, no one in-game knows what's happening right now either. Everyone is just confused. It was a detective that was murdered supposedly by the head prosecutor, but now it seems he was murdered by someone else also? Somewhere else also? And because it's a detective, the police are confused because it was the highest prosecutor in charge of everyone as supposedly the murderer. The prosecutors are confused. Because it was the same person in two different spots at the same exact time, everyone's confused. A lovely police mascot created by the head detective, sir. And that's apparently the police mascot. Isn't broken during the transfer of prop. My sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very important mission. Award ceremony finished that day. There were so many people running around. I relocated the blue badger to the evidence room. That's why you went to the evidence room. What did you see when you got there? Spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. Oh, he does. So then, your ID number should be listed in here, right? Asshole. Right here, could you please read us the number? 4989596. The number 498, whatever the hell, shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. Edgeworth is like, I'm not dealing with that crap today. What the hell are you talking about? First time is when I relocated Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. Okay. That's when I spotted the man on the security screen. Got it. So I'm doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened? It's a knife, sir, a knife. Goldman pulled a knife on you? What happened then? It's just never going to get a break with a decent witness, apparently. Charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. Someone would want to run into. Swung my arms like an octopus struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked, grabbed the man by his collar. Thought for my life that I did it. What do you mean when you say you did it? I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. My god. Let his guard down for an instant, so I snatched the knife from him. Took his knife, spun him around, and performed a disarming maneuver. Sure to close my eyes like a man. Why have we never looked at the tape to see what actually happened, instead of dealing with this idiot? His white coat was drenched in a sea of blood, and then the next thing I knew, he punched me right in my face, sir. God, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. But how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Well, you would know what time you regained consciousness because you would be conscious at that point. And the officer that woke up the witness was about 5:30. Be right in the head too. Woke up crying tears of pain. It's nice that you recovered, that is. I know, right, Meg? Brown, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Blue Badger, sir. Ran out to the entrance before things got out of hand. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Only one thing remains unclear. Was that the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief delivered it? A videotape? That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. Contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. But I specifically asked if there was such a tape. I was told it had been mistakenly erased. It's quite a mistake. Do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. It's as good as ever. Also gonna risk turning my volume up. Hopefully, asshole Meekins won't deafen me. Stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. It was clearly self-defense if he is speaking the truth. Like, he came at me with a knife, I managed to get the knife from him and stab him back. Oh my god. Lummy ho! Are you kidding me? Fucking bullshit game. Is this what you're gonna do? And this is the only camera in the evidence room? He's just gone. Hold on. I've never actually gotten a good image of Edgeworth's face like that, and I really need it. Let's get the whole him. There we go. Because I love that reaction. I call bullshit. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? That is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. This isn't going smoothly. Anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room and some sort of activity did take place. I didn't even have to hit forward with that. Edgeworth was just like, no. Instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage. The witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins? His face can't be clearly seen in the video. True. Oh wait, he's talking again. Gonna lower that down. The other person was Detective Goodman, sir. He opened his locker, the locker which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. Locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. Aha! I was smart to do this. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. The defense may begin its cross-examination. Everything begins with contradictions, that's where I have to start. Shout out to Contradiction, great game. Are you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with the knife. Must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face. I believe I would be classified as the latter. You were standing right in front of him, were you not? To the point you are the person who fought him, aren't you? I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see? Too real. It's a good trait for a police officer. It was him. I bet my badge on it. I'm willing to bet you'd lose that bet. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You actually saw Detective Goodman's face. I might say that, but as you must label people as having seen or not seen it. And yeah, I didn't find the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins. Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Like, the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Good. Tell us why you are positive it was him. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? I've tried all kinds of methods in the past, they only respond to registered fingerprints. The man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir. It's unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. Work is in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. Also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. Victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. No one else could have unlocked it. Most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face. If I may say something, sir. You are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. It's his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. His hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. Footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. There is absolute... Alright, chat, I think I'm gonna have to watch the video again, because I've got a guess at what's going on here, but I'll need to look to see. That'd be 5:14. I can't tell. Did it look like he was wearing gloves there? Kinda? Yes? Contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange. It's the possibility that the man may not be Detective Goodman. Something fell out of the locker. I did see that as well, but we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. First time I've ever had to do that. So you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video and just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Okay. I can't stand watching that video. I'm glad it... It seems like he's wearing gloves.
Take that!
That does not seem confident. I need to use my eye drops. I don't get it. I borrowed your eye medicine. God damn it. But he's the one pointing his finger. And he's just gone, right? How you doing, Max? I don't think it's the falling thing. And he's gone, right? Yeah. Well, he doesn't have blood on his hands, even though there's the blood stuff. Try one more time. just in case I needed to have him grabbing it with the gloves on.
Take that!
Nope. Because it looks like he's wearing gloves. Why is the light on already? Is that just like a reflection? Is that the locker is already open? Okay, there we go. It was already open. That was actually what I thought the last time before I grabbed the hand, was that it was already open, so it didn't matter whether he was or not, but it looked closed, but I guess the light means that it is open. He's talking again, so... Works like this. You grab the hander sensor, reads your fingerprint. If the print matches the registered data, the light turns on, the lock is released. According to my very limited understanding, that's the way I understand it. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. This video, I'll have you know, Phoenix. This is all also... Well, no, because I guess it would only shows it by the minute. Just for the handle to open the locker. You probably got to do it the slow egg game. Oh, nice, Raptor. It's already lit. Get lit. I can't ignore this music, even if it has beacons yelling at some point in it. What's the meaning of this? Very simple, Your Honor. Locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. Was wedged in a locking mechanism. I would not be surprised if that's it, Sparky. Locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. The locker is automatically locked. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. Not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Officers should keep their mouths shut. Do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? I wasn't locked or locked. So it was jammed open with whatever that was. I would not be surprised if it was a paper, but I'd also... It might be the glove that I found on the floor right there. Oh, I have not, Max. Miss Scientific Investigator. Something like jammed the electronic system. I'm sad the music stopped. Whee! I am so glad I can do frame by frame in this. Yep, that does look like the glove.
Take that!
Do we really need to start the video from the beginning for this? All I can think of when I'm hearing that now is lolly ho. Might fall out of the locker. I experienced that things fall out when doors are open. Often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door, sir. Did you not stop first, you idiot? Sure, that item was in the locker to begin with. The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? Lolly ho. Sure, Max. Stuck between the door and the sensor. I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle. after the door closing, my tie chokes me. The object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. You need to be an insulator. Just might have been something that fits the description. Fits it like a glove. That was in the victim's locker. Has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. That isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? So, sir. Exactly, Raptor. So we to believe then that the victim whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room is not Detective Goodman. Should not be misled, Your Honor. The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in this video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. Sir Meekins, please testify about this. Me, sir? Not sure what you're referring to, sir. It was a good try, Edgeworth. Rip, Macho. Is this a joke? The thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. .514 is that of the victim. Just before the crime. Without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. One thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Ah, extremely violent cases involving police staff. Makes my hand stand on there. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleaned up by noon. Except for SL9. Unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? And wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir. I just can't afford to make any more mistakes. Ooh. With that card hanging from your neck, one of these ID cards. Keep it here so I won't ever forget it. If someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that. Yeah, I shouldn't wear it around my neck. And when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck in the car door when I get out. Remaining time, my ID card gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Anyway, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. He's used, there's a record of it. It'd be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. I like to imagine that Edgeworth also pulled it out and flicked it at the same time so that we're both flicking the same piece of paper. Yes, that would be it, Detective Goodman. According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. So it is, Your Honor. Hey, maybe he's behind all this being a prosecutor. He could hide the evidence. That man in blue, a murderer. Stare at him. Got the wrong color, kid. The inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. Nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue the cross-examination. It's been so difficult for him. time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. He didn't show me any ID cards. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if you had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. He just panicked. Confused. Problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this.
Objection!
I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense? No, wrong crime scene, Judge. The first one. This room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report? It's only half completed. It shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? Can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. The day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Jealous Raptor. What does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room is not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. And Edgeworth's just gonna let me prove all this so that he can go, so obviously Sky killed Goodman in the parking lot then. To which Phoenix will be like, I didn't think of that. I've only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. Nice bag. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. In case we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. The victim in the video is a fake, and the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. I guess that's right. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. Seems you finally realized it. Exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Sky, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. Trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ugh. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. Yep. Still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? Where did this person disappear to? They examined only the murder of Detective Goodman. Alright, see ya, Macho. To do something or else, Lana. Obviously object. Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. Almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Not be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, a large amount of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Yes, Your Honor? If the court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? Sorry, Your Honor. Prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. Not prepared to any other witnesses for this incident. Have to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. The defense would like to request a specific witness. Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. Prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. This person whom you would have testify. What is his or her name? Obviously can't. It's Jake Marshall, 33. Why him? Can't let him know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. Prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. Court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. You're the one who knows everything. You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for this protection. You'd be so cold. Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything. Yo, what's up, Gumshoe? Guess I am. I'll come back later. Got a lot of nerve, pal, making detective run around, all around while on duty. Top it off, you call me here. I've seen half of your people at funerals. And it's you there, Miss Sky. Have you brought what I asked? You mean this, right? With my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. Well, I thought it was you who asked me. Bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files. I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. Well, sometimes it's the lawyer. Like last time, it was the lawyer. I need them signed, them brought here. I'd do well to read them. Can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Was a witness? Good for me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Why is your name in here? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... you... complete and utter... idiot! You mean this is the serial murder case that I was involved with? Oh gosh, I never would have guessed. Urgh! The Joe Dart killings? Oh, that serial murder 2 years ago that we were involved with. I thought it was a different serial murder case that we were involved with 2 years ago. God, I hate Emma. Science! It's over with. No. She ran away. You know what? I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. But I'm out of here. Well, you know what? I can look at this right now. Screw you guys. Victims: Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Oh. Marshall's dad, I'm assuming? No Sky. Trial data. Head prosecutor, Miles Edgeworth. Witnesses, Lana Sky, Emma Sky. Investigative task force. Executive investigators, Damon Gant, Lana Sky. Head investigator, Bruce Goodman. Investigators, Jake Marshall, Angel Starr. So she was both an investigator and a witness? Interesting. Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. She witnessed the investigation, I guess. This seems like it's about the end, so it's a shame that Macho's gonna miss this, but if I can also wrap up this game tonight, that would be pretty good. Emmett didn't come back. Oh no, whatever will I do? In charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Please state your name and occupation. This is a long case, my god. So I'm not going to finish this tonight. Just a man same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. You're a patrolman. Listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Described that way before. Yo, Sparky, gonna want proof of that. In charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. Desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime in English. Hasn't he been a witness already? I feel like he was. I could be wrong. Just keep a wary eye on the bull in the orchard. He said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. Remember right, I was at a side street saloon at the time it went down. Just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Alright, Marshall. I enjoy the judge's beard, thank you very much. By 2 security systems. Security cameras and ID card reader. Even a cowpoke like you knows about those. About the fingerprint-activated locks inside the evidence room. Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? It's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Not exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room. Just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. The room's so still, even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who entered the recordings. Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. And usually recorded tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase the tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. I can understand that. In actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. Said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said? I told you that ain't my style. Afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. Police force. On the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. So rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker, do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. Haven't been in that crypt in weeks. Two security systems anyway. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? I ain't good with machines. Couldn't even tell you how a bike works. I mean, to be fair, I think even, yeah. Even Gumshoe was like, I bet a lot of people actually don't know that these fingerprints are on there. Some detectives are unaware of their presence. Does it seem that this is relevant to the crime? What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel steak lunches can beat the parlor's vongole sepia pasta. Abandon your police duties to eat some noodles? Yo, what's up, Ross? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. Hope this has at least taught you a lesson. Just an innocent traveler, man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? We'd call it evidence. Plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. A steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. Things seems clear despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room. The witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I'd better up the ante. So don't use it yet? Interesting. Really quick. Well, I guess it hasn't been too long since I saved, but still. So you never went in, huh? Well... then whose number is that? Damn it. I was hoping. Just gonna... well then, I'm actually gonna ignore Phoenix, but... screw upping the ante. I better wait before I up the ante and use my trump card. Oh, you were supposed to use the trump card right now. Whatever. You being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. Yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. To be exact, a handprint. It's a real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, my rounds about once a month. Only natural my fingerprints would be in there. No. Did you see? Your fingerprints were covered in blood. What's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? Blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Seems to me, there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? And a bloodstained fingerprints? I begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. Murderer touched the locker where my fingerprints was by chance. Bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? Had nothing to do with it. Appears valid. Well, there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. How did you put it? Pay your respects once a month? That's right, that, and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. It'd be strange my prints weren't all over that locker. Using the fingerprint lock without even knowing it. Just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. What about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine? No mystery. Locker's covered with my fingerprints. Just so happened? I don't know, Max. Chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. Chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. One thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward for me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? Stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. It's got to do with breakfast while the other's the type of murder. Seemingly alike, they're totally different. How do you know that? Legal loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. Seem thought to be left by the murderer. Found Detective Gumshoe's locker. No fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Think we tried that too? Wearing gloves, happened to place his hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. Only logical conclusion. Fair, Whitney. Starting to get the picture, partner? This seal of blood. The desert's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. As long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. Where are you going with this cross-examination? What do you mean by that? Tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. That video is next to useless, it's full of blind spots. Places you can't see. Camera's panning back and forth, the floor isn't shown. Someone's familiar with the camera's position. Could leave the room without being caught on tape. Don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Allow me to point out your mistake, Mr. Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Ah, fair, Whitney. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Ba-ba-bum-bum-bum-dum-bum-dum-bum. Boom, boom, boom. I've got a few guesses. See one guess already. One last pan to make sure. Whoops, it ended. Yep. Alright, so there's two things. One, the knife he uses is Marshall's knife. Two, hey, suddenly that shirt or whatever is right there.
Take that!
Days are short in Texas and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. I was in a certain locker shown in the video. Has a white cloth sticking out. This is the witness's locker. Let's rewind the video a bit. So you're saying he's only speaking in half-truths, Raptor, like a true Texan? White cloth is gone. Meaning this, Officer Marshall. The crime took place. The white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Seems that's the only. Hold your horses. Sorry, partner. But you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? Doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. Even Edgeworth's like, I had something, so we opened the locker and stuck it in. Not my fault he happened to choose mine. Even the judge is like, really? Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law. Hangman is coming down from the gallows and I don't have very long. Now prove it!
Take that!
A fingerprint sensor? Talked about this earlier today. Lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Case locks aren't that obvious. There's even some people in the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. What do you have to say in 8 words or less? Jerky. I only got 1 word for you, partner. No. With like a JoJo pose. Menacing, 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 menacing. Witness, explain yourself. This is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. And then please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Ole! Please answer the question. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. Then, where was the witness? Since Mr. Wright has an answer. Ole! Is it gonna be up or down? Up or down? Up or down? Down. That's right. Technically, he's the victim because the killer is supposed to be Meekins. Right? Unless you're confusing me, game. Okay. Why don't you remove your shirt so that we can see the stab wound? Because the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. Is you dressed up like Detective Goodman? That's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. Point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. Asked him to show his card, sir. How did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly fucking just had to get that one last in, huh, game? Something about the officer's story puzzled me. The man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? He would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. I read that like a robot because I didn't know where it was going to end, so my emphasis was off. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. You got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Still denying it. Do better than that to break a detective, unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. For your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Shut up, Phoenix. You do. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who can take the desert heat. I missed my nose for a second there. Whoops. Looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. Shut up, Edgeworth! Gee, what someone told me when I was just starting out. Oh, I see what you're doing. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. Thinking outside of the box. Should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. This locker was open in the first place. Shut up, Edgeworth, I know why. For Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. I get that you're trying to help Phoenix right now, but still, shut up. Despite the chance it might have been discovered later as it has been. Didn't originally plan to open his locker. Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime, then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. He just wants this to be done. The white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. What exactly is this piece of cloth? It's the coat that has blood all over it. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to want me to point out the thing. Why the witness had to open the locker. I'm pretty sure it's the blood spatters on it will count, but just in case, going to save. Oh, wait, one more pass.
Take that!
You disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room. You don't know what that reason was yet. Have time, dice with me. Something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked. The white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. Couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, huh, partner? Now then, Officer Marshall, agree to tell us the truth. Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? We get him? Apparently it was Officer Marshall disguised as the other guy with the knife in the evidence room. I would have thought it was Colonel Mustard, but no. Alright. Seems the time has come. I'm gonna have to press him on this, which means he's probably lying. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. Stole the detective's ID and dressed like it. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. Managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. The supposed victim was really you. There's one thing I still don't understand. Large quantities of blood traces were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. I guess he's the donor. Yeah, that's way too much blood. I don't trust you on this. Exactly, Raptor. You mean... You even have to ask, partner. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. The incident's not over. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only the detective who was in charge of it can look through the evidence. I want to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. He's in charge of that. Why does he care so much about it? Really, Phoenix? It was my chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like it. Planned to take out the evidence. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. Detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. That really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card, left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. It was left there by Officer Marshall. You managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean, the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Only that locker shouldn't have opened. Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Expected Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. Pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off. Say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. Didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person, mistaking a detective for an intruder and then be shown his ID. About as early as this year. Edgeworth gets so much influence. Threw himself at me, I ended up cutting him slightly. Sorry it had to turn out that way. Me knocking him out and everything. What happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. What happened next? So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. Think it would make a difference, though? Security tape is erased every 6 hours. All had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. You bled your coat and you struggled with Officer Meekins. Someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. Doing during that time. What else? You were sleeping like a baby. Wasn't anything murdering the evidence room at 5:15. The blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. Actually, no I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. Where's that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Let me ask you one thing. Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself, which will have serious consequences. You can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. It's an unusual amount of zeal, let's hear more. Can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? Because your daddy was dead. It's off 2 years ago, wasn't it? The reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for those crimes. One thing I can say for sure, he deserved his sentence. I remember that Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. There's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. That incident. What I think his real reason is, hell yeah. Here is related in some way to that case. Better take another look at the files. Oh, I don't need another look.
Objection!
I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. At the SL9 incident file here, the name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. Ooh, the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right, he was killed. The case fell into your hands. It's relation to you. He was my brother. You done killed my brother. My God. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, chief detective at the time. Ah. Or him. A group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Whew, that is an evil-looking bastard. Joe Dark. I heard he killed Batman's parents too. My God. It's just him in another hat and clean-shaven. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed, at least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I know my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. At least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. Last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. This mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. It's got to be more than that. No one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime. That means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. So only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial, which is why we examined the incident in the police department today. There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All the mysteries of the police department have been uncovered. No contradictions remain. The murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. There were no errors in the testimony of the witness, Angel Starr. Have a response? Make it one word or less. I rest my case. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. No doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. I didn't realize I would end up proving Lana guilty. Meekins, I think so, Whitney? Hold it. There we go. Alright, Emma, you finally remembered the important things that we were supposed to remember? You wanna be useful now, Emma? Fucking... Where'd that cowboy go? I choose to believe he's on the floor because she shoved him out of the way to take the stand. Please hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. I was kind of in shock, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings, which you should have immediately realized. This weird case 2 years ago that was important to Edgeworth, it was about a serial murder. If only I was involved with a case like that. I hate you, Emma. When can I have Maya back? Sky Systems were in that file? Yep. Officer Marshall was trying to do that day, so I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. The other handprint. Found Detective Gumshoe's locker. No fingerprints were found on it, right? Figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure there was... Ran over there and looked at it again. Did you find something? No. God damn it, Emma. No, you aren't. Leave. Bring back Maya. Then why did you take the stand if you have literally nothing to show? I'm slowly amassing more blankets as my bed is being finished washing. It's a shame there wasn't, like, just a laundry room with this apartment, but I can understand why. Blood mark. Handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Sorry, I can't be of more use, but still. If you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, well, Lana will be. We don't have all day. I've needed to concentrate, it's down. I absolutely object. Clearly shows a contradiction. Only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. Pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? A good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Something hasn't been drawn on there. When drawn, it completely changed the meaning of the blood mark. True, Whitney. I mean, obviously the video can prove that something's missing.
Take that!
Even a blind man can hit with buckshot, so long as he's facing the general direction. Does he mean the pottery shards? Really quick, just to make sure. I assume that there was just like missing lockers. It's either that or that asshole. Where the fuck? Where the fuck? Man, I forgot how far back it was. There we go.
Take that!
Alright, second try. Mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. The floor plans at the crime scene. Blue Badger is not here. So, let's watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. What? That's right, so long as the Blue Badger is dancing there, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. Why are you upset about that, Marshall? It just means that you didn't leave the handprint there. That's exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me. I didn't put it there. Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the police room, right? My god. This blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once but twice. I'm sorry, Edgeworth. Here we go. Scat from this tape, taken by the security camera. This hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. Problem is, the other time. But prior to the struggle shown on this tape, it had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous, I refute you. Security tape has been proven to be a fake, however, it does not explain the blood mark found in the locker. Oh, someone's fighting a lot. This murder you purport really happened. When did it take place? Demand you show evidence that proves it occurred. Claims that. Right to Officer Meekins being cut by the Jake Marshall was disguised as Detective Goodman. Another incident took place in that evidence room. Blood mark on the locker proves this. First incident occurred. Yeah, I love the fast back and forth objections like that. My favorite parts. took place inside the evidence room, then the perpetrator would have to have entered the room. In order to do so, ID card is required. The ID card record. Dun, 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 dun. Crime took place before that time, then it would be either Edgeworth or the person before it. Just what have you done? I never figured you had nerve, boy. Put off the act, witness. Doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. Afraid I don't understand either. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. The blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. Would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry the body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Who is the mysterious Sevens? Talk about a lucky number. That doesn't make sense. Could Officer Goodman have entered the evidence room? No record of his card being used beforehand. He must have entered along with the real murder. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 77777777. Whose ID number is 77777? 17 too many, Your Honor? Fortunately, unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7s belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. 420 was the key all along. Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can be granted such authority. Official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? Your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I'd appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7s. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. I want to know is one thing about that incident. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. That trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Whew. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least I did. I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law, but before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why don't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. Even if it involved forging evidence. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No!
No!
Actually, probably more likely.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
The chaos of the courtroom could not be quelled.
No!
Conclusion of a trial. Have to wait until the following day. Whew. 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 This man can't catch a break. I mean, he at least seems like he wasn't a part of it. Yes, I would like to save. I need a break. Whew. Bye, YouTube.